Hey everyone,
Hi,
I'm Eric,
I'm Katie.
and this is Midweek. Thanks for joining us.
Hopefully, we are on Facebook tonight.
We are. They connected.
Whoop whoop.
So I did some testing earlier. Thanks for whoever chatted with me. Lori was one of them for sure.
Yep.
During my test. But anyway,
I'm gonna adjust this.
making sure we could go out to Facebook. We had some issue with Facebook last week. I'm not really sure what the deal was, but we should be back. So if you're with us on Facebook tonight, say hi, and if you're with us on YouTube, say hi, and we will hopefully be streaming to Facebook permanently again.
That'd be ideal. This has been a great day.
Yeah?
Has it been a good day for you?
There we go. Getting some people popping on. Yeah, it was good. It was productive.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful weather day. For those of you who live in Ohio, I'm sure you saw it, and I was outside in it yesterday and today. Just been awesome.
It was like 78, Lori. I don't know if Lori's watching yet. It was like 78 and
Like very low humidity.
very. Yeah, she told me. I talked to Lori on the phone the other day, and she's like already in the 90s in Georgia.
Oh yeah, it's probably
with complete humidity.
totally oppressive humidity down there. So
Hey Randy. Hey Mary.
Mary and Randy, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey Larry.
We're going to continue this discussion a little bit more on the spoken word tonight. So do you have any updates or anything beforehand? Can't think of much.
We have a mechanic coming and looking at the bus to tell us where some stuff belongs, if some stuff belongs.
Yeah. Yep. So I stumbled on this guy about a year ago and starting to look for a bus, and actually one of the buses that I was looking at was used to be previously owned by a church, and because of that,
hey April,
he put me this owner of this bus put me in touch with him, and so he's been a really good asset answering questions and stuff, and so he's actually going to come out and look at this bus, and because I'm kind of hoping to unload some more weight, and there's some things that I'd like to remove if I don't need them. So he's going to kind of go through with me. He's going to check it out mechanically and just give it a look through, and it'd be nice because there's buttons and stuff I have no idea what to do.
Right.
For those of you who have never been on a coach or driven one, the whole dashboard's got buttons on it. And so it's like some of them are worn off, and I do have this like guide, but
he's called the Holy Spirit, and he says don't touch that button.
I mean, a paper guide that they gave me with the bus, and actually I don't even think it's accurate totally, because there's like extra buttons that aren't on the guide, or there's like so I don't know. I don't want to touch them. And there's this you guys see the cartoons where there's like a red button and it says like don't touch?
We have one.
We have one. It doesn't say not to touch it, but I'm like,
it's like the biggest button, and it's like red, and it's right in the center of everything, and it's almost like it's begging to be touched, but we have no idea what it does.
And I'm programmed from watching all the Looney Tunes growing up, not to touch it, so I'm not going to touch it. But I did find the air horn, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, that thing is loud. So we've got two horns, and one is an air horn, and it is like, it's just like crazy.
Yeah, can't wait to use it.
So that's pretty much the bus update. Once the mechanic comes and helps us figure out what we can keep and what we can get rid of,
I can put a floor back in.
We're gonna start laying floor, and then eventually after the floor is where we're gonna start running electric and like building a bus.
When I get a floor in it, I'll do an update. We'll post another 1 minute update because it just doesn't look different. So I'll put a 1 minute update up with the floors in, and you guys can have a better look at it.
So yeah, what my heart is, and I believe we're going to be able to do this a few times, is when we're completely done with the bus, we would like to drive it to a pretty kind of central location. I don't know where everybody is who watches, but we would like to do an open bus and just have everybody come, and we'll grill out. Y'all can walk through the bus.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so that's it. That's all the personal updates we've got.
I'm going to keep marking scriptures because there's a few we're reading tonight.
Yeah, so I was studying a little bit for tonight through the week, and I got really blessed because I started just like finding a lot of passages that I want to share tonight, and they were just a real blessing not only to me but to Katie. And so for those of you who've kind of been following along with this teaching, I think Katie's told you that much of what she wanted to teach about this, the reason why she wanted to teach about it is because in her own life she's doing a lot of confessing of the word, and she's kind of been building like these personalized confessions to speak out loud. And so I was actually reading through some of these, and and so she had mentioned, oh yeah, that one's in one of my confessions, and so anyway, there's some other ones that I think she may be adding after having seen some of these.
Yeah, it was great actually. I sat down yesterday. I had been pacing the floor, confessing and just speaking, and I sat down, and Eric's like, check this one out and check this one out, and it was it was great.
It's really good. So okay, let's jump into it. The first, I want to read from Jeremiah 1. I'm going to read from a couple of verses from Jeremiah 1, but we're going to read from Jeremiah 1:12. And Katie, I think somewhere, I don't have your notes from the original 2 weeks, but hey, Mark and Debbie, pretty sure you had this one listed, but it's Jeremiah 1, chapter 1 rather, verse 12, and it says, Let me start at 11. It says, and there is a word of Jehovah unto me, saying, what art thou seeing, Jeremiah? And I say, a rod of an almond tree I am seeing. And Jehovah says unto me, thou hast seen well, for I am watching over my word to do it.
Yeah.
And so last week I mentioned that this week we wanted to talk about God performing his word, and so I really hope to articulate that tonight. But the more I read and kind of researched and studied, the more passages I found about how faithful his word is and how he puts it in your mouth.
Yeah, so many good ones. Ones we hadn't really discovered.
Yeah. And so I think it's important to understand that while I do want you to understand that God wants to perform his word, and what we mean by that, I think, and you can clarify here too, is there are promises, there are things he has said in his word, but there are also things that he's spoken to you personally, and so his word is pure, and it's reliable, and so that's what we're going to basically be talking about tonight.
Yep.
If you have these marked, why don't you go ahead? I want to read. I've shared this one before, and I think that this one here, I paired this one with the first verse out of Timothy because I thought they went well together. So go ahead.
Yeah, this is 2 Timothy 2:13. If we are faithless, he remains faithful. He cannot deny himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I shared about this a few months ago. In this particular context, we talk about standing in faith. And I know that speaking is one way that you do the word. It's a way that we stand by faith.
Yeah.
This, of course, and I think I shared this before, is not like you can just not have faith. It simply means that as you have faith in something, as you stand for something, I really believe God literally stands by and just waits for you to apply faith to a matter. And it's like, because he's not going to deny himself.
Right.
It's like he makes promises in his word for us.
Yeah.
And so now he's going to make good on those promises.
Yeah.
And so when you apply faith to a matter, he just is like, yes, that's how we activate, And so when I read that passage, it's like, man, our status, how we think, what we believe, does not change who he is. And that's what that verse says to me. It says, I'm your father. I stand ready to perform what I promised for you.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to share that tonight, because it just, to me, it's like this first verse. I read that from the Young's literal translation because I love how he says that he's watching to perform his word. It's like I gave my word, and now I'm looking for an opportunity, for a way
to perform,
for a time to perform it.
Yeah. And
I just love that visual of him watching.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like last.
Well, it's like in Psalms where David says he inclines his ear, he looks to and fro.
Yeah, we'll share some of that too. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, a lot of these examples, they do come from the Old Testament. And yes, God is watching to perform His word, and He does incline His ear, but He's also here. Like He hasn't left us. It's not like He's up in heaven, bending down to incline His ear with a big old horn, like trying to hear us. He's here, but He still can incline His ear to us, and He can still watch for us to watch for that
Yeah.
opportunity to perform His word.
I like something Graham said once, just to kind of parallel with what you were saying. He said, he was talking, because it was an Old Testament verse as well, but it says, seek the Lord while he may be found.
Yeah.
And Graham asked this wonderful question. He says, how do you seek the Lord when he never leaves you or forsakes you?
Right.
And it's like the difference between the old covenant and the new covenant.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these things we'll share tonight, some of them will in fact be from the Old Testament, but it's like when you, and actually I was going to kind of share one particular one, because it's like, it talks about being perfect, and it's like, we're just men made perfect.
Yeah.
And so we get to obtain these promises from His word because of that.
Yeah. I want to say hi to Tim and Connie.
Hi, Tim and Connie. Let's see, Tanya's on,
Yep.
and Tim and Connie have popped on.
I
So
said hi to Tanya too. I
Kind
don't
of
know if she heard me.
kind of a slow night. Let's see if we can get some traction here.
What? I love everybody that's here. It's awesome.
Well, I do too. Now we just got to get him to chat.
Oh, okay.
All right, Matthew 24,
All right.
verse 35.
Yeah.
So what we're just real quick, we started in Jeremiah 1, 2 Timothy 2. We're kind of sharing some passages from the Word about.
Really the strength of His word.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away.
Yeah, and I got to thinking about that. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
I got to thinking about that today. It's like we talk about people passing away.
Yeah.
And it sounds, it's like it sounds better than having died. Well, they passed away, and it sounds so mystical. Like they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about these words. Even when everything else passes away, His word will remain.
Well, His word is incorruptible seed.
Yes.
And it's incorruptible. Everything else is, everything in the world that we see with our five senses can be corrupted. It's corruptible. It's gonna eventually, it's all gonna burn up.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back here, but it's like His word is eternal.
Yeah. This is such a simple passage that I think we've read over so many times, but the truth is like he's saying, this is how reliable my word is.
Yeah.
It will literally never, ever pass away.
Yeah.
You can count on it for eternity.
There's a passage, I don't know where it's at, but I could find it, but it says, not one of God's words has ever failed. Not one word.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. 1 Samuel 3:19.
Do you like my color-coded
She's
system
color-coded
here?
this thing so much I can't read it. You're going to show him now.
I have a color-coded system.
She's so organized.
Yeah. Samuel what?
You're so happy with yourself.
I know. Samuel 3:19. I am. I'm so happy. Okay. So Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and this is so good.
Yeah.
So Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and let none of his words fall to the ground. Praise you, Lord.
Yep.
That is so good.
I was thinking about you and I were sharing stumbling over some of our confessions.
Yeah.
We were she's really encouraged me, not in trying to encourage me, but just having been confessing.
Yeah.
Out loud, it's like I do it more in my truck, when I'm alone driving, I think, than anything.
Yeah.
But it's like I was telling her one morning